Yeah, I've got a challenge you with that. Anyway, look, Thomas. Episode. Look,
We're getting some great B-roll. Look at us go.
B-roll.
B-roll.
Roll.
Isn't that real?
No, roll. B-roll. Um, Hi, I'm Thomas.
I'm Adam.
No, it's not true. It's not right.
Crouch, bind, set.
This is Podcastaways Season 3, Episode 4. And
Let's do it again because our viewer will get confused.
they won't.
Hi, he's Thomas.
This is Adam.
Yeah.
And this is Season 3, Episode 4 of the Podcastaways. Today we're going to talk about the Six Nations.
Round one.
Round 1, and looking forward to Round 2. But anyways, Round 1. I think we both said we thought France was going to win.
Oh, did France win? What?
We both said that. I can't remember what we both said about. I think you said Ireland was going to win. I can't remember if I thought England was going to win or not.
I said Ireland were going to win, but I thought it'd be a close game, which it was.
Italy Scotland was closer than I thought it would be.
Yes. I didn't see that game.
You didn't. Checking.
Yeah.
Friday's game. It's always nice to have like the very first weekend having a game on Fridays. I do like that.
I like it when there's a game on the Friday, Saturday, and Sunday because then you don't like. I like either properly spread out or all like a Super Saturday.
Yeah.
But like the Friday game was good, and then the two games on Saturday just meant like I didn't want to get up at 9 o'clock. Well, I didn't want to start watching it at 9 o'clock in the morning here, because I was at the gym, like went to the gym and stuff. But
did you go to Burns? Or did you go to Burns for the second half of it and then go to?
Oh no, I missed the whole game because I went to the gym.
Was the picture of you having your Guinness not at Burns?
No, that was a Woodlands.
There you go. Tells you what I know. That was Guinness. I thought it was Burns.
No, we went in Woodlands.
But the game with France and Italy and Wales was kind of to be expected, of course. I think that.
No, hang on. Who expected Wales to score 0 points? I mean, I can understand expecting France to score 6 or 7 tries, but no one expected it. I remember saying to my wife, a 0 in rugby is very
hard
rare
to get, yeah.
And the fact that it was against a top 10 team, like both teams took that. I mean, Wales lost 13 or 14 games.
13 plus in a row. Yeah.
I mean, really, why are they still in the Six Nations? Why are they allowed to be?
No, what else?
Like,
a country. They weren't for a while.
They're not really a country. They're a proper brand.
Why are they not? So Gatlin has lost 13 games consecutively. He was given his own resignation in. He was told he was not allowed. They did not accept his resignation, and so now he's going to go through it and have him lose another set of games. It's just going to be bad. I thought that the entire game was literally Jack Morgan and the shittiest players I've ever seen play. Like Jack Morgan, I picked him on my fantasy team. He scored like 50 points. He was amazing. He had 121 meters, attacking meters. He made like 25 tackles. He went off, but then everybody else was just pitiful.
Yeah, I mean, he was good. Tommy Rafael was good
when he came on.
Because he came on early. There's a lot of injuries. I don't think he picked the best 9-10 combo to start. The 9-10 and Skull from Gloucester and the scrum half plays at Gloucester as well. They should have both played together. They play together every week. Like, that's something you can't, don't usually get. But I think there was some, that.
And then France was just the red card for Mentimac. Now he's going to be out for another 2 or 3 games with his red card that he got.
So, I mean, that definitely when it happened, I thought that was a red.
Absolutely.
Like, how do you? Did France have another yellow card before that in the first half? No, it was Wales got a yellow card in the first half.
I'm trying to think of anyone else.
Wales got a yellow card
for France, yeah.
But then France got a red card, and then Wales still had 15, 20 minutes. Still didn't score, and then Wales got a yellow card at the end, and it was 14 versus each. But I can't believe like to not score a point, like a penalty within kickable distance. Like not that drop goals happen a lot, but like to just nothing happen. Yeah. Incredible. So Wales were not good. So France were very good.
I wanted to ask you: have you seen the controversy now that came out of this game with the laws?
Which one?
So, well, there's a few, but so one of the things that France was doing during the game is they were setting up a pod of forwards, but the forwards were not going forward anywhere, and they weren't even in a legitimate position to catch the ball, so that Dupont could go behind them and just walk along behind them safely and have them defend him. in the line.
Still blocking.
But they weren't obstructing because I think they they held their line. They weren't technically in the way, and he was choosing to go behind. It somehow gets around the rules, but he essentially was able to walk behind.
So it negates a crossing bit.
It essentially prevents defenders from getting to him faster. There's a particular play where he gets it and crosses it to Adesagbe in the right hand corner, and you literally see, I think it's like all their three back rowers and one of their locks literally are just standing there blankly in front of him as the Welsh defenders come and just run in between them, and he just has so much extra space on it.
Well, I think the law is, I don't know the letter of the law, but I would say that you can't put yourself in a position to stop a defender making a tackle. So that's where crossing is. But if you're stood there and he runs behind you and you stand still, don't put your arm out or anything, I don't know if that's technically illegal.
People were comparing it to an O line and like him being a quarterback, sitting there behind the
makes no
pocket,
sense.
having a group of people standing there in front of him blocking defenders from getting.
Yeah, I mean, effectively that's what he's doing, but I don't know if that's technically illegal and stuff. I mean, if you got away with it, the referee was pretty good, except for the missed forward pass that should have been not a try. That was definitely a forward pass.
I don't. Which one are you referring to?
The one where Dupont made a break and went through, and he was stood on the 5 meter line and then threw it forward, and the guy caught it a meter before the try line and dived over.
The most egregious forward pass I saw on the weekend was actually in the England Ireland game. Dan Sheehan's pass.
Yes.
It was blatantly a forward pass. It was so egregious, but it was a beautiful pass. I'm not going to complain about a forward doing that. And obviously, great for Ireland to win the game. But we can. As far as the Italy Scotland game, I'll touch on that one really fast. It was kind of to be expected. I thought the scoreline was a little bit more generous to Italy than I thought it was going to be. They stuck in a lot better. I thought Finn Russell was really quiet throughout the game and didn't really do a lot. On the other end of that, it was nice to see the center partnership stand up with Hugh Jones and Stafford McDowell play well, which I sent that to you. Did you see what their partnership is now called?
Dow Jones. Yeah.
Dow Jones. That's pretty funny. So we've got to figure out something for you and Dennis or you and Liam this year, what your partnership name is going to be called.
FTSE 100. That's another finance.
More McNulty.
We got Morgan Stanley, Gene Witt. I don't know. We can find something.
And then
More. What's his last name? McNulty.
And then Steinbeck.
Sounds like a law firm, doesn't it?
It does.
Anyway, we'll find out. Larry's going to be annoyed you didn't say his name in the centre partnerships. Anyway, yeah, I didn't see the Scotland game. I did obviously hear how good Hugh Jones was, and he was obviously the man of the match. But you know, Italy are no slouch and stuff. It'd be interesting.
The wooden spoon game.
Well, it'll be interesting for round 2, Italy versus Wales, because like there was previous Six Nations, and this is going back a long time, where Wales would do crap and play a terrible game, and then the next game they'd be amazing and come back. But I don't think they've got the depth in players to do that. I think they're going to struggle.
I had seen a stat that it was like all of the the 7 backs and then the 2 or 3 named on the bench, all of them played in the top 14. Not a single one was a Benetton player, or maybe Ignacio Brex and Marcello or Benetton, but like all the rest of them, the 9, 10, both wingers and the fullback are all top 14 players, and all their bench guys are from France, which is great. Their players are going to better leagues and are playing.
Oh, you said okay. I thought you were saying a negative thing. Yeah, it's a positive thing. I mean, I think if Italy has the depth in players to play in decent leagues, then it shows that you get, when you play with good players, you get better.
You do.
So like players, their team being able to do that, I think, does Ireland get hurt by only selecting people who play for the 4 province teams? No, because they got such good players. But 15 years ago, they would have done. England only picks players who play in the Premiership.
That game was a very interesting one for me to watch. I'll say that much. I've talked about this before on the podcast. England's social media, they're like, it's called like the O2 Inside Line, was one of the first things I watched when I was into rugby. So for a while, I supported England pretty hard, and I still know I follow the Premiership pretty well. So I've been following them and like their little social media posts about how they're feeling about the game and everything. And it was just that was a weird game to watch. I thought there was a few times where England could have closed it out and just didn't do it. And there's a few times where Ireland just showed who they were, with Dan Sheehan off the bench scoring that try was insane. I don't like James Lowe, but he was doing well. I picked him on my fantasy team. James Lowe, of course, played really well.
Yeah, he played well. I think, and we'll talk about fantasy teams in a second, but like there was I think Austin Healy said it. No, it was Dan Cole who said it on their podcast, and it was just like, yeah, like 15 years ago, players like James Lowe would have got punched in the face in every game, but he's brilliant for the sport because
Does on social media
because
stuff, for
he,
sure.
well, because he gets people to watch him. Like you could love him or hate him. Same with like Owen Farrell. Love him or hate him, you
People
watch.
watch.
Yeah, and so yeah, people either that kind of thing. Did you see the off topic a little bit? Did you see that I sent you the Austin Healy Brian School thing earlier on in Facebook? It's so funny. It's Austin Healy when they both played for the Lions in 2000 and must have been 2003. No, 2005. Might have been 2001. Anyway, they both played for the Lions, and like Austin Healy is a short angry bloke syndrome. I know someone who's got that.
Mm-hmm.
And was just giving a lot of mouth and stuff, and was doing something and being a dick, and Brian O'Driscoll just lamped him one in the changing room, not in him. But it's funny because like a lot of Ireland fans still go every time Austin Healy says something, they'll go on Twitter and just be like, "Shut up, or we'll get Drisk to come and like lay you out again." But anyway, it's really funny because they were on a podcast together, and so he just brought up his Twitter and was going through all the comments.
The only bod clip that I saw when I was just getting into rugby was that thing where he was at a I don't know, it was a Lions thing or for Ireland, and he was like knowledge is knowing a tomato is a fruit and wisdom is knowing
Not
that
putting
put it in
fruit salad.
salad.
Yeah.
It's like the first thing I'd ever seen. Like I'd never seen him play rugby before.
Yeah, that was a bet. That was a bet.
I didn't know that.
From it was a press conference, but someone else bet him that like to get things. They were just they just play because it's a tour team, right? So they just play, they do funny things. So it was like, yeah, get something like this in, that kind of thing. The best kind of jokey thing I've seen that comes out of one of the Lions, like the Look at the Lions DVDs and stuff, was I think it was 2000.
Devo and Connor Murray.
Yeah, that exact one. Yeah, and he's like, kick it out, kick it out, kick it out. He just falls down laughing because there's 30 seconds left on the clock, and you see Connor Murray stand up and go like.
That had to have come to. I don't know if I was even watching rugby at that point, but I feel like Connor Murray had that shtick for like 4 or 5 games in a row. With the last 5 minutes, he would kick possession away over and over again, and I think that was totally like getting payback out of it. Doing some stupid stuff like that.
So, yeah, that's funny. Well, so before we talk, so that was end of round one, really good fun. But like we do have the Podcastaways Fantasy League going. I will just
first place.
Well, I did post that the results were in on Sunday morning, and then some stats changed, and so people's. Have you looked at it?
I have not.
Yeah, so my points went up by a bit, and some people's went up, and some people's went down, and things as it got qualified. So this is the official end of round one tally. So in first place.
Loading
it.
There we go.
In first place, I mean, Get Rucked Stud. That's 501 points, which I don't think anyone's got 500 points. That's amazing. Second place, Bert, which for 490 points, so 11 points. So I was winning by 4, and I won by 11. That's fine. Buttered Biscuits, whoever that is. Do you know who that is? Also on 409 points, so second equal. Messi Plays Rugby, you drop down from 4th to 5th.
That's okay.
Yeah. So Larry with Messi Plays Rugby for 461. Paddy, we're not saying that name on the internet, 454. Master Blasters, and then whoever the Brown Bananas are in 7th. And then Dougie told me why he has 0 points, because he joined, then forgot to put a team in. So he's going to make up 501 points in the next 4 games. Not going to happen. Anyway. The rules were, if you finish last, I don't think we can count Dougie because that's not fair, but whoever's team is the Brown Bananas, you owe me 2 beers. And then Master Blaster, you owe... Well, it's not really fair to make him buy 1 beer and 1 beer. Maybe Master Blaster, you owe Buttered Biscuits half a beer and Bert half a beer or something. I don't know. Second
half
place?
A beer? Get him
or I'll take 1 and he has to buy 2 for 1 and 1 or something.
That's fair enough.
Anyway, so that'll be anyway. Obviously, get your teams in before the kickoff whistle from the first game this weekend, which is Italy Wales. So, who's going to lose that game? Because no one's going to win that game. There's no winners in that game.
Italy will.
Where is it?
Italy will win the game. Italy's going to. I think will beat Wales. I think across the board, Italy player per player has better people. I think that.
Where is it?
I think people thought that Wales was going to go out on this attitude of like there's nothing to lose, except they did that and then proceeded to lose 43-0. So I don't really know what to expect.
Sorry, I'm just going to look up. Is it in Wales or is it in Italy? Oh, it's in Italy. Stadio Olimpico. Yeah.
I think Italy's going to win that game.
I
think Italy will win.
Yeah, I either think it's going to be very close, or it's going to be like a like Wales are just they've just lost everything. They just try because I mean the
After
thing
this
is,
game, do they fire Gatlin or not?
I really hate it when teams don't perform and the immediate thing is to fire the coach or the manager. However, 13 games in a row,
It's pretty bad.
yeah. So like,
My thing with it is like you can look right now where like maybe England as a league and as a team does not maybe have as many world class players as like Ireland, for example, that has world class across the board.
except for
However,
the 10.
well, Jack Crowley's amazing when he came on. His last 30 minutes are amazing, but the coach's job is to make the players be a better sum of their parts, and Gatlin was not doing that. Gatlin did that up until 2019. Like you look across the board at some of the Welsh players that were in that roster, and yeah, they were generational talents. But
Well,
you would just, I think you'd only list a few of them off as like all-time world-class talents, but they
well,
performed above their
I
pay
mean,
grade
I would say
significantly.
one of the greatest players of all time is Alan Jones, and he was the team was built
Right.
almost well the forwards especially were almost built around him.
Dan Bigger was
But
still
like Dan
playing well
Bigger was
then.
very good.
George North was still playing well then.
Mr. Glassjaw. He used to get knocked out all the time.
That's true. He's had a few of the bad ones. They had Navidi back then. Moriarty was still playing for him. I think he still sometimes does, but
I mean, did you see that Louis Rizamet didn't get a
NFL re-up.
didn't get a re-up on his
I thought he got re-upped. I think re-upped on a training contract for a few more months.
No, he didn't get it renewed for, so he might be coming back.
I don't think he's gonna change anything. Respectfully to him.
Well, he's lightning quick, but I don't know if you know. So there's the other person who did that is Christian Wade, who's now back playing for Gloucester.
Right.
Ironically, who Louis Rizamet played for. So he's played for Wasps, left,
And then he was there.
and then he went to.
He played for Racing 92 for a little while too.
Maybe I don't know,
Maybe.
but he went over to. He came over here to
Yeah,
try and get an NFL, and he didn't
play that much.
He didn't. But I don't think he played.
Down on that try line again, they're queuing up. Oh, the intercept from Wade. And look at Wade go! All the way from England. Christian Wade from 80 metres out. Unbelievable!
He had like a minute of game time ever.
I don't know, maybe,
Yeah.
but he wasn't the star that everyone thought he was going to be just because he's 4 foot tall. He's not. But like he's not a big guy. Louis Rizamet is at least 6'1", I think, and probably like built like most NFL players. Christian Wade's just out and out quick, and was like he's not a weak. I'm not saying he's a weak guy. Like he's a big strong guy, but he's not an NFL player. So I don't think they ever like slotted him into a team and could do it. And I don't think it's as a transferable skill as the people think it is.
The one position I think people thought Rizamet would fit well into is the kick returner, and then I don't think everyone had him play that anyways.
So anyway, Stadio Olimpico, Italy, Wales. It's kicked off at 9:15 Eastern time. I agree. Italy will win that one. England France will be if France play like they did against Italy, no one will beat them. No one.
I don't even think France did their best in that game. I thought really where I'm worried about with England with it is just the forwards fronting up. I thought on round one, Tom Curry across all three of the games was the best player of the weekend. There was no one that even came close to playing as well as he played. So he needs to keep
I would say Aldrich played better than anyone else.
I don't think so.
It'd be interesting to see.
I think that Tom Curry was the best player on the weekend, and I think that they've got to back that performance up against France, but France is going to be heavier and larger across the board. So not going to be a fun experience, I'm sure, for the forwards in that one. And then across the back.
Hang on, I'm going to tell you how many points his were.
I'm sure Aldrich was worth more points. I'm sure he was, but I'm saying on a...
Aldrich scored 71 points if he wasn't the captain. If he was your captain, you could get 142 points for it, which is great. Ben Earl scored more. No, that's not true. Sorry, Ben Earl is worth more.
Ben Earl.
Who did you say?
Tom Curry.
Tom Curry, not Ben Curry. Ben Curry was worth 20. Tom Curry was worth 50. So Aldrich was worth more.
I think Tom Curry played better.
Now I just dropped someone out of my team to look at that, and now I've got to try and remember who it was.
I suspect France will win that game. I think it'll be another close game because that's what England seems to be good at doing right now, is getting the scoreline to be almost equal and then losing in the end. And I don't see that changing.
I think so with England. I think they've got they haven't got the kicking threat that they used to have with Owen Farrell and George Ford on the field, because like
Marcus Smith's an okay kicker.
Marcus Smith, he's a good kicker. But what I'm saying is, but he's a live wire. He's like a different, like he's
not a
running back,
tactical kicker
you know.
the same way they
But
are.
the thing is, like, penalty within the 5 meters and in your half, or in the attacking half, you go. Like, as long as it's not on the touchline, they go, cool. Owen Farrell or George Ford will slot, so that's 3 points for England. 3 points for England, and it'll keep going. Marcus Smith's not going to do that. But there is different attacking things that come with that. But I don't think there's like they haven't got that threat anymore. I think it'll be a tough game. I don't. I mean, do France travel? France don't tend to travel well.
I mean,
Who
I
knows?
think France will play really well.
I think it'll be a good game. I don't. It'll either be a spectacular game or it'll be just
the one thing that England does have going for them is Intimac with his red card from the weekend. They're gonna probably have Jalabert play 10.
I don't think Or
I don't
think Ramos should play 10. He's been terrible.
And he's better than Jalabert in my opinion. I think that Jalabert will play 10. They also had and with Jalabert, at least with Jalabert playing at 10, they can keep the back three the same. But I think they get Pinot back this weekend. I'm sorry, in round 2, and so he's really good. And then and then I think there's a possibility that Thibaut Flamand comes back, who's a true lock instead of that Rouma guy they had that is not a lock, who's a back row normally. And then finally, Ireland versus Scotland.
In Scotland.
Ireland, I think, is still going to win it. And I think it's going to be a blowout. I think it's going to be not nearly as close as people think it's going to be. I think that Scotland is not going to do well against Ireland.
I don't know.
They didn't do well against him in the World Cup. They held him like 18-3 the whole game. They scored one penalty or something.
Yeah, I don't know. Ireland. I'm not as convinced about Ireland's team as I used to be.
Dropping Prendergast for Jack Crowley for a start would be a big change. I don't think that Ryan Baird at number. I think that Ireland is missing a Peter O'Mahony type 6 that like gets the team going and gets the big hits in there. So there's a big loss in that regard. Tadhg Furlong being injured is not great. I don't know if he's going to be out for a while longer or not. And then Joe McCarthy was injured too.
Well, they called it. Ireland put on their Instagram. They called up a couple of players who I have not heard of. So
one of them was like the Munster starting hooker, normally captain, and then the other one is I don't even know who the other one is.
But like
Mac Hansen. I mean, Mac. By the way, did you see the thing with Mac Hansen too? Then him coming off for a blood injury, and then him coming back on with just more tape on his knee instead. That was interesting too. I don't have a personal preference on that either way. I'd much rather get that player off the field so the game can keep playing, rather than sitting there and waiting for him to get bandaged up. But like people online were all like speculating, did he actually go off for blood, or did he actually hurt his leg and they gave him 10 minutes to stretch and cool off, basically, which defeats the purpose of a blood injury.
Well, I mean, there's always controversial about the whole blood replacement thing. Same as HIA is like.
Will Stewart went off for 2 of them in one game. In the England game, he went off twice for HIAs, and both times came back without like having passed it.
Well, there's a lot of the England setup now. They have the mouth guard with the sensor,
right?
So it's a G-Force sensor, so it goes to the independent doctor, and he's the one that takes them off.
Right.
Whatever. So like, a lot of it's not gamesmanship anymore.
No.
There was
the doctors will call it. Yeah.
Yeah. So like back in the day when there was the blood capsule in the mouth, and they to try and get a player off because they'd run out of subs, but you could bring someone off for a blood, that kind of thing. So there's gamesmanship and everything, but like
keep it out of the sport, please.
Like safety has to come first. If someone's legitimately hurt, they should be able,
right?
So whatever, but you remember these guys are physical trained sportsmen, like they can take a knock, like
it's true.
Anyway, so you think England? You think
Ireland will beat Scotland by at least 16 points? I think at least.
I don't know if 16 points not in Murrayfield.
I think absolutely Murrayfield.
Okay. I mean England. They only beat England by 7-5, something like that. Like England got a bonus, losing bonus, right?
It was 27-22.
Was it 27-22? I'd had a number of Guinness by that point, so.
If Finn Russell has a fire game and is on, absolutely it'll be closer than that. But if he plays like he did on this past round one, he's not gonna. They're not gonna do well against Ireland.
Cool. So, player of round one, any game, any team.
Tom Curry absolutely was the best player of the weekend. No one else compared to him. By far, he's the best player.
See, I mean, I think a lot of people will say Hugh Jones. I didn't actually see that game, so I can't say it. So, but I did watch the France
Okay.
game, and Aldrit was incredible. I love both back row players. Cool.
I think it's gonna be.
Round two, get your teams in, see how it goes.
See
We
who's
will
Woodlands.
hang on. So yeah, we will be at Woodlands for the
11:45 game, which is the
England France. Yeah.
England France game.
We'll be there. Not our sponsor, but if there will be a game, Burns just next door to Woodlands does open to show the first game. A lot of the Scioto,
Scioto.
that's the one. Guys will be there. Some of the squirrels are there as well. Let's get people there. If you want to watch the rugby, you want to sit and have a Guinness or not a Guinness, and sit and watch rugby on Saturday morning. It's good fun.
If any of you are just casual fans or interested in joining the Castaways, this is a great time to go. We get tons of emails with interested fans reaching out on our website, or not fans, but interested rugby players interested in joining the team. This is a great time to get to know people, get to learn about the club, and see if it's the right fit for you. And hopefully we can be a home for you in the future. But this is a great opportunity to come meet the team and get to see what the sport's all about as well, without having to dive too far in with practice and committing to that yet. So.
Yeah, and if you haven't been in a while, just come and hang out. Like, it's good fun.
Well, if nothing else, we're about a month out from practices starting. They'll be starting sometime in early March, Tuesdays and Thursdays, 6 to 8 p.m. at Rhodes Park. Our very first game of the year is in Nashville at Nash Bash, which is March 22nd and 23rd. Is our first big tournament of the year. Again, details for finances may be posted by now or may not be. They may be online.
They're coming.
They'll be here soon. And if nothing else,
I'm just trying to fact check you on that date.
We'll
22nd, 23rd.
22nd, 23rd. We'll see you all in the next episode. Bye.